Good to see you one and all yet again on this Monday, episode number 76 of cricket.com's Monday Night Live. My name's Avnish Hegde, and I have with me, of course, Akshay Kumaraswamy and Nikhil Popa. Guys, good to see you all. Feels like an MNL that we've done a while, even though every week we have to do one, but this one feels incredibly long. I'll start with Nix. How are we and all going well in your house?
Yep, all good. We had the customary stadium visit as well for the year. Again, assuming the result was always in one go, but a very good game to see MICSK. And I was speaking about Rohit getting that one good knock. I had to personally go there and ensure that the knock happened because it was good. But Sky, though, very rare. I haven't got a chance to watch Sky from the stadium. I think it is one of my most memorable innings seen live.
That's incredible. I want to actually dive deeper into some of the Wankhede Stadium details, which Nix, of course, saw the El Clasico live, which is brilliant. Akshay, I'll come to you, or shall I come to you after you finish the Apple? Either or. But how's your weekend? Mixed emotions, losing at home once again, but winning away in Mulampur. Almost, if you look at RCB's last 6 games, is it win, loss, win, loss, win, loss?
Pretty much right after the first game, it's been win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Hopefully, we will be able to break that streak on Thursday. All in all, good week. Some developments personal level पे वो Avnish जो watch along में उनको जो पता चला. But apart from that, yeah, it's all going on. अरे जो भी है, anyways, it's going on. Life goes on. IPL, I'm not complaining about it, and MNL, of course. I actually agree with Avnish on this. मेरे को भी इस बार when I was actually thinking about Howzzaatt, I was like, yeah, the last Howzzaatt seemed like an eternity ago. So yeah, I'm happy to have MNL back. Happy to have IPL back. So.
Indeed. Remember, there is KKR GT going on right now. But if you guys are listening to this podcast later, drop a like. If you guys are watching us live right now, drop a like and comment. I've already seen some good comments. Vasundarayan saying, giving Rohit A plus, absolute mockery. He's been shit in tests and retired T20. Only good in ODIs. How does he deserve such a high contract? How bizarre have these been designed? We'll get to the specifics of it. Remember the thumbnail suggesting that the Team India contracts are out and we'll of course, pick the bones about it, like I normally say in every podcast, but that one for sure. Hi, guys, saying Manikanta. It's been a while that I've seen Manikanta and his comment in any of the cricket.com live shows. So, hope all's well. Returning to our podcast in the chat, the legend that he is. Bizarre that he Jadeja and an A+, not deserving at all. Sorry, Avnish. This is not banter, this series. I mean, look, you guys know that I was actually backing Jadeja only in terms of tongue in cheek. I made that clear on the podcast yesterday. I'll still do that just so you guys can like take the piss and clip it up whenever you guys want to. Andy having one for Nick saying, how many, do we have too many guys? Nick's feels like Flem and Dhoni just haven't been able to figure out 11 with the squad that they have. Nick's will answer that in just a bit. And Cricinfo saying, hi lads, as well as Ankit. Hello, Namaskara, giving us attendance as well. Right, let's start with that Wankhede experience because even Mohammad Aran's asked the same thing. What was it like? When was the last time you went for a match and how was Sunday night at the Wankhede?
See, I'll be very honest. At times, I'm very privileged that I get hospitality passes. So it's not very often that I go in normal, usual stands. So yesterday was one such occasion, but again, that too was well sponsored, thankfully. So we keep trying on that aspect. It was good. I went with my daughter. Had to ensure that I am more. This is as distracted as I can be while watching a game because if I have my family around, then I can't look at both things at the same time. But I think it was good. Of course, the food and water inside will be costly 2x, 3x, but that's you just expect that. And we just got a good stand and a good view for that. So I am not complaining. The food was fine. Crowd again, well. The last time I was outside the stadium, I didn't have a good experience. That wasn't the case yesterday for sure. So that was good. I had no problem screaming along Mumbai Cha Raja, Rohit Sharma, and all of that because it was good. It was good.
Did any of the sixes come your way?
We had a couple. The best part was again me being me. There was 3 instances which happened exactly how I thought they would. Rachin got out when I thought he would. Shivam Dubey hit 2 sixes exactly where I told people around me, this is where I'll hit, and they hit, and they're like, dude, we are watching at the same time. How are you doing this? And I was so sure before the chase that Rohit will score today. You just wait and watch. So I think that was very, very good. And yeah, it was good to watch that game live.
Yeah, Rohit getting runs. And look, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about all the things which has gone by in the recap in just a bit, but that was definitely some highlight for Mumbai fans. And they really making a statement with that win. Lots more comments to take. If we do miss your comments, there is a 12th man section. In fact, the 12th man section today will also have a fan pop on for the first time on cricket.com's Monday Night Live, and we'll try to make it a regular feature. But as the thumbnail suggests, it is one thing that we want to pay tribute to, just the fact that this tournament gives such a glorious opportunity to people, and they come and dazzle. Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Ayush Mhatre, who's next is what we're asking. You guys can tell us in the comments. But before that, Tanvi saying, hello guys, how are you guys? Very good to see you as well. We'll come to Bangladesh in the 12th man. Sorry, not the 12th man, but in the best of the rest, where we'll give you a little brief update about what that is going on with the test match against Zimbabwe. Ankita saying CSK did biggest blunder of not bowling Patirana after the power play. We'll talk about CSK, we'll talk about MI, we'll talk about RCB, and of course, not to forget the other teams. Right now, GT KKR is going on right now. But let's start with the Youngsters Appreciation Club in the IPL, guys. We've seen it time and time and again, years gone by to right now in 2024. We'll start with the Vaibhav Suryavanshi knock, Akshay. 14, bro. We did the watch along. He has the absolute cojones to come out and just waltz his way to first ball six, being only the seventh batter to do so. Is the IPL now giving a message to the rest of the cricketing world saying, dude, like there's no thing called the age, and there's nothing. Age is just a number, literally.
I mean, it's sort of been a recurring theme of sorts. Whenever you hear overseas players, speak during the IPL, especially this season, either when they're mic'd up or when it's, outside the dugout or something, almost always a constant feature of their conversations is, yeah, the talent pool in India is crazy. We always see this guy and we think he's the next big thing. And then we see the next guy and we think, okay, he's the next big thing. And then we see the third guy and we're like, bhai, khatam kab hoga ye list? So it's definitely been the case, and IPL has played a very big role in that being the case, to be honest. Money one side, of course, all the attention, the eyeballs, all of that has made it that much more glamorous and that much more inspirational for the players coming in. When you hear the players coming in right now say ki we looked up to Virat Kohli, so ki bhai, there's a reason why that's happening. Virat Kohli was just an example, of course, placeholder. Rohit Sharma, MS Dhoni, and the likes. So IPL has definitely played a role there. And in terms of these youngsters, man, I might digress a bit, but I just can't stop thinking that when I was 14 साल का था, मैं school cricket खेल रहा था और मेरी 30 थी. I used to be scared कि यार कल match I have to do well. I can't even fathom what it must be like to be 14 and rub shoulders with the best in the business. Like, what? Like, this is Chankuli ki Mankuli on bloody hell cocaine. मतलब क्या बोलूं मैं? It's crazy. I'm very happy to see them come good as well. It's one thing to make your debut, but it's a completely different thing to dominate on debut. Even Robin Wins got a debut. Unfortunately, he's not been able to do well. But Vaibhav Suryavanshi, ball one, the way he struck, the ball for six. I'm like, bhai saab, wait a minute, kya hai yaar? Kuch to soch, kuch to de, kuch nahi. So very happy for him, man. Very, very, very happy. I'm excited to see more of him. My only thing is yaar, agla match RCB ke सामने यार, थोड़ा सा भी रेस्ट ले ले. In Kannada, there's this phrase, Devriga. So first match चला, second match Devriga, मतलब भगवान के लिए. So जब भी एक शुभ काम करने जाते हो ना, पहली चीज भगवान के नाम पे करते हो, फिर तुम अपने दूसरे से तुम शुरू करते हो अपने आप के लिए. तो आई होप ऐसा कुछ हो कि दूसरा गेम भगवान के लिए छोड़ दे, और कोहली है वहां पे शायद जो वो इंस्पायर किए होंगे उनको. तो आई होप कि यार अपना भगवान समझ के ही छोड़ दे उन्हें. उसके बाद आप देख लो यार, jokes apart, of course, very happy to see him, very happy to see Ayush Mhatre do well. So yeah, man, it's definitely exciting times ahead for Team India.
Does it almost give the confidence to the rest of the youngsters in the country who apply their trade as cricketers, Knicks, in just be like, yeah, we can do it too? Mhatre, we saw last night as well, was a brilliant, 15 ball, 32, whatever, just giving us an insight of what fearless batting means. And again, just taking on great bowlers, packed crowds, nothing kind of deters them. And it's just great to see. So, Nick, let me come to you here before I, of course, play devil's advocate going forward. A word on people like Vaibhav Suryavanshi and Ayush Mhatre. Is it almost like you can give them all the confidence in the world, but it's about you to perform there under that pressure, and they've just come out with flying colors?
I think it's really fascinating to see. Now is the actual time where that line comes truly true about talent meeting opportunity. We spoke about this at the start of the season as well, that this is a season where you are having teams having weaker overseas slots. And I think that's where IPL is finally Indian Premier League now. That you're not no longer dependent only on overseas guys to make your team look good. There is a team that is playing right now that's been playing with three overseas guys forever, it seems, in the season. So very, very good for them. Whether it is Vaibhav, whether it is Mhatre, I think the good thing has been, as Akshay said, it's the stage fright that has completely gone out of the window. They're not thinking about the crowd, the pressure, the occasion. It's not the occasion. It is just about, I have the confidence. They back me. I will go out there and do my best. I think it's a very good thing for the IPL that you have such people coming through. Now the next step is we need to hold on to this and we need to take care. We've had quite a few examples of some of these talents coming in and just going off. I do not want anybody of these who are coming in or who will come in to just go off. Take care of everybody who's part of the system. So whether it's Ayush, Vaibhav, again, new guys in the setup. Prince Yadav had to sit out. Now, again, he's not, say, 16, 17. But you can imagine Prince Yadav was sitting out because Akashdeep, of course, had to play. So it is a good time for Indian cricket that way. This is a good batch to nurture and see what they can do ahead.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the comments to come out of just youngsters playing in the IPL, and Raidu and Boucher kind of said this in their post-match piece about RR. And they were questioned, Akshay, about how Rajasthan Royals, since winning that inaugural IPL, have always invested in youngsters, but not got results, right? So is there a fine line by making IPL a breeding ground compared to getting the finished product and getting results? And how do you kind of see it? Because you can give Vaibhav Suryavanshi a chance. And I'm not blaming him for Ara's defeat yesterday by no stretch of the imagination. But how do you take that call in terms of your 11 to have pretty much 8, 9 solid experienced players, but a sprinklage of youth? So do you agree with Boucher and Raidu when they say that it's not all about breeding ground? It's a tournament where it should be won now, not 2 or 3 years' time from now.
See, the way I look at it is, I don't think any team is consciously going out there thinking they'll go, for inexperienced players or they'll just give youngsters a chance. How basically every team works differently and every team's structure would be different. In RR's case, for instance, Vaibhav Suryavanshi wouldn't have gotten a chance had Sanju Samson not gotten injured. Just like Bumrah ke baare mein, when we spoke about, the likes of Satyanarayana Raju, Akash Madhwal, Ashwini Kumar, all of these folks got a chance because there was someone injured. It's not like सीधा उनको भेज दिया कि भाई, we bought you at the auction with the intention of making you a part of our first 11. Very, very, very rarely has that happened that a youngster was picked and he was straight up brought into the starting 11. Like, my mind probably goes back to someone like a Devdutt Padikkal, who also again was coming from a mind-blowing smart. And even before the season began, people knew कि boss, this guy, there's something in him, he might start. I can't think of too many other names who, despite not having any experience, that's true, Santosh, that's true. Yeah, despite not having any experience, they were going to start. So the way I would look at it is, Boucher and Raidu are correct, but where I would sort of, also add to what they said was, is every team first looks at building an 11 with, players who are of some repute as in who they back, ki bhai, this guy will come good at this level. They more often than not, all these youngsters are brought in with the idea of, giving them some time, seeing where they are at, what their level is, and then from there they take it forward. Like SSP Jaiswal took a couple of seasons to come good. You remember that, right? Riyan Parag took 5-6 years. So when RR does something like this, they don't bring these folks in or these players, these youngsters in with the idea of playing them straight away. As long as you're doing that, I don't have any issue. There needs to be a fine balance between, giving youngsters a chance and playing senior pros. But I don't think Rahul Dravid is choosing Vaibhav Suryavanshi over Sanju Samson. If that were the case, then Boucher and Raidu were correct. So that's where I would probably disagree with them. And it's fine. Now that Sanju Samson isn't available, abhi mauka dena hai to give your youngster a chance. Because you don't have other options. Now that's a totally different issue. Ki option aapka ghatiya tha, aapke paas backup nahi tha, but irrespective. This case, understandable though. You can't have Vaibhav Suryavanshi starting game number 1. That's probably how I would look at it. But yeah.
Nick, where do you stand in Suryavanshi generally right now? I mean, the other 14-year-olds in the country might be wondering, what has he done to get into the limelight so quickly? How does he bang the door down and get into a RR team or any IPL team? And then the question arises that everyone's asking on the road, fan camps apparently it was covered as well. यार वो सच में 14 है, age fraud तो नहीं है, and those kind of evil questions in society, right? One thing is appreciating beauty and be like, oh my god, look at us, IPL, we're Indians, we're cheering a 14-year-old on. But then there'll be questions from the outer world and be like, guys, is he actually 14? Can you check his passport? Now that can't just be singly targeted at Vaibhav. There's other problems in sport generally, not cricket, in terms of age fraud in our country. So how do you kind of tell an outsider, a cricket fan, and be like, listen, it's not all kind of golmaal happening in the IPL here?
See, eventually, I just feel a lot of us at times are just wanting to put filters and look down. I think that has just become, unfortunately, a part of us that anything good happens, we first want to think the negative aspect of it rather than the positive aspect of it. So, which is why I said that I hope the system takes care of the people here. And which is why I did not say franchise or anything else. I want Indian cricket as a whole to come together and protect these guys that you may be whatever your age, you still got here because somebody has seen something in you. Now, once when he's played one state game and he's playing, he's in the squad. Now there are so many others who have played years, decades, but they did not get it. But that's how the game is changing, which is why the system should come in and be like, this cannot be the end all and be all. You have gotten a chance, but there is still a long way to go. Some of you may not even get a chance next year, as Akshay said. You had an Akash Madwal coming in because Bumrah got injured. Kwena Mafaka got a game, but he's not now with Mumbai. He's with RR now. So these things can happen, which is why the system needs to come in and be like, these are our youngsters. You need to filter out who is my long-term guy. Sit with them, work out a plan that, okay, this is how we'll go about it. Because as you said, tomorrow every 14-year-old will feel like, I also want to do that. But it may not be possible for him to be picked. But that doesn't mean that he's disappointed, which is why if a system is in place, you take care of it. And I don't think it is easy to be age frauding so much in 2025, given how much stringent things have become. But again, if it exists, it may be existing. So that is something I can't answer. But I just hope the system takes care of everybody who's there as a setup. 14, 15, 16. And just Akshay Bola, everybody is not going to get a chance as a first choice option. They are coming in because Rachin and everybody is not working out. So you are seeing an Ayush Mhatre being picked and played directly. He's Fleming का पहला thought नहीं है कि आयुष मात्रे लेके पहला मैच खेले. So you have to give that to the teams as well. कि this is a second chance, but let's see how they go.
Akshay, even the fact that Mhatre, the fact that he didn't play any T20 cricket, we were talking about it during the watch along, right? So how do scouts even look at these guys? Because do you think his list A numbers are good enough to kind of merit an IPL game for CSK, 5-time champion? I mean, obviously CSK need options right now. They're trying to infuse new energy and all of that. So I get that. But generally, like, how do scouts pick out a Vaibhav Suryavanshi or Ayush Mhatre? Is it also 90% luck, 10% skill? Explain it to me and the viewers watching this.
See, there's of course a lot of serendipity included. You might be the best performing youngster out there, but you need the scouts to be there. You have to be performing at the right place at the right time for all of these things to work out. That goes without saying. Unfortunately, real life mein sirf hard work kaam nahi karta. Thoda wo chahiye, and that's how it works. That's fine. About this, like I mentioned yesterday as well, numbers play practically no role. When someone like this is someone like, Vaibhav Suryavanshi or an Ayush Mhatre is brought in, they're not brought in thinking, array iske numbers ache hain us tournament mein. Absolutely not. They only look at the base skills on offer. Yeah.
Fair, but like in the point of Swasit Chikara, who hasn't got a game for RCB, a lot of people were kind of claiming his fame to claim in that Mira tournament. He's got some 500 runs or something like that, right? Surely some numbers play a part. Priyansh Arya 6 sixes, it's infused in people's mind, be like, yeah, ye banda 6 sixes maar sakta hai. So again, how do we distinguish that?
Absolutely not. Like, if anything, I would say no numbers should be considered when you're looking at youngsters.
Okay.
Because यार वो level ही अलग है ना. तुम DPL में कुछ भी कर लो, it doesn't make a difference. DPL में बुमराह नहीं है, DPL में Hazelwood नहीं है, DPL में like again, let's take RCB for instance. Just because they've been bowling well this season, DPL में you will find one or two of those bowlers जिनको आप मार सकते हो इधर उधर. I remember there's a guy called भगवान सिंह. भाई मतलब उसके मैं भगवान दत्त से bowling कर रहा था. बेचारा बहुत मेहनत से डाला था, बट 115 120 की bowling करता था. There will be one such bowler in every team like that, even in Maharaja T20 trophy. Now, when you face an MI or an RCB, there's Hazelwood, there's Bhuvi, who've got accuracy. Once you get done with them, there's someone like Dal coming in who's also been good. In MI's case, there's Bolt, there's Shahid, then there's Bumrah. That's not enough. There's Pandya who's in good form. So it's completely different pedigree altogether. That's why they don't look at numbers whatsoever. They look at the base skills. How does he handle pressure? How does he handle certain situations? How is he handling high pace if that's possible? If they can sort of gauge that kind of shots they're playing, and eye test scouts rely on their eye test, on their idea of how players work and all of that, which is why scouts and scouting is a very specialized skill. It takes a lot more than just having former cricketers usually make better scouts than coaches, according to me, because they understand what it takes as a player. Like coaching, coaching is a different skill altogether. Scouting, you have to parakna, you have to gauge if this player is good enough to make it at that level. So Priyansh Arya, you mentioned, I'll be honest, I saw the DPL. I still stand by my word. I think he's a raw gem, but there's still a lot more polishing required. There were 2-3 players who I really thought could have killed it, who unfortunately haven't been picked. But again, that's how it works. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Of course, with Priyansh Arya's case, probably he's an outlier. Hitting 6 sixes, his side scoring 300 plus. Those are outlandish numbers. Abhinav Manohar, the Maharaja T20 trophy, he had a fantastic tournament. But he's been, unfortunately, a dud so far in the IPL, which is why numbers in such tournaments make for very little context, so make for very little relevance. So, which is why I don't see a lot of merit in seeing numbers over there.
Yeah, because scouts, look, you hit the nail on the head. The fact that they kind of pick out those little idiosyncrasies as you as a cricketer, the things that you do right on the field. But what about off the field, Nick? You're telling me the behavior of Vaibhav Suryavanshi, Ayush Mhatre, any youngster who goes into the IPL sanctity, the sacred space, they can't just come in and be a cocky kid. Sure, the element of respect will strike naturally when you have your Virats and your MS and Rhodes around you, and you won't be a badly behaved child. But how much does that play a part in being picked by a team in a franchise? Imagine you're doing all the right things as a Priyansh Arya, as a Ayush Mhatre, as a Vaibhav Suryavanshi, scoring runs, succeeding in pressure situations in DPL and all of that. But you don't have discipline. You don't have the same work ethic as the international cricketers do because you're still raw, you're still young. So is that taken into factor when you're picking out young cricketers for any IPL team by scouts?
See, that will only come with also if there have been others who've been with them in that setup. And that could very well be happening already that we may not be aware of that. Okay, there is somebody in the Mumbai side who's observed or who has been told to keep an eye on some of these players and how do they go about life in general. Because what you, me, and all don't say is, if you think a life of a cricketer is easy, it is not. Sorry to break that bubble down. It isn't. There is so much at stake at every point of time. There is so much pressure. You are allowed to earn at times on the field and off the field as well, because it is, you are eventually human and you will have your emotions, which is why the system again comes into place. Who is talking with them on a basis, even in a franchise? Now you see some of the instances of, say, a Swastik Chikara, where he's checking. There was a video of him checking Virat's bag or something like that. Now that is, you can do that in a team environment because that is how teams function. To us, it is like, "Abey, Virat ke bag mein kaise haath dala?" Bhai, they are teammates. They know their levels, and that is how they can do that. So, I think when you come into that setup, it is a bit of respect, a bit of awe. As Akshay said, "Bhai, Vaibhav Suryavanshi is in a bus sitting next to my Jofra Archer is sitting 2 seats next to me, and this guy, Ashes and all of this." There are so many thoughts because we are cricket nerds. So I think everything plays a part, and it is where the staff comes into play. That man management is very, very important in cricket, any which ways. Because you see of Hunger Gaker and other examples as well. We've had I think played once for Joseph, who didn't have a good time, or even for a medical problem for someone. So that is how you see things being done by franchises as well, that they are taking care of people off the field as well. So I think a lot of this is, we don't know this because this all happens behind the doors. So I'll only hope that whether it is indiscipline or whatever it is with people, franchises just ensure that they can do the best. Because there is a quote with Shaik Rasheed as well, where CSK management is like, "Don't worry about Rasheed, we'll take care of it." Now that is a good insurance from you, but how much do you trust it? It's subjective. So you can't never make it, "Ha, bhai, this is done, we are fine with it." So let's just hope everybody's fine and taken care of well.
Just one more thing to add to that about this as well. In 2020, I remember this video that RCB had put out again. 2020 auction, they bought in Shahbaz Ahmed. Again, a relatively unknown commodity back then. Bengal ke liye खेलता था, not from one of your मतलब bigger cities or well-known cities. So no one knew, and there was this scouting bit. They put out a video where they spoke about how when it came to Shahbaz, the reason they went for him wasn't just because of his cricket. They again, this is what they put out in the video. To what extent have they done this, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure other teams will be doing this in some shape or form. They spoke about how they apparently went to his village in Haryana. They spoke to his parents. They got to know about his struggles, his life, and what he's had to do. In some sense, again, a slight digression. This reminds me of how VCs also, while investing in founders and co-founders, they look at struggles. If you guys, if people have actually been through certain challenges, because that actually makes you a battle-hardened soldier even before you've had to play the war that is the IPL, and that counts for a lot more. When you've been through so much in life, there was that basketball player, right, who said, I've lived a life where I struggled to put 2 meals in front of my family. That is pressure. Scoring 2 points isn't. So when you've been through that, you know that this doesn't matter, and that actually makes you a lot more clear in terms of how you want to play your cricket and how much more easier it becomes for you to put yourself out there and become a better cricketer. So all these things matter, and they definitely are doing their due diligence there as well. It's not just about, अरे इसने 6 बॉल में 6 छक्के मार दिए, चलो भाई इसको उठा लेते हैं. Pretty sure Punjab Kings would have had some conversations with him, would have probably called him in for trials, seen him, how does he perform, how does he react to those deliveries that he misses out on. If he gets out, how is he reacting? Is he calm? Is he composed? All of those things matter. It's just not about कि भाई छक्का मार रहा है, चलो ले लेते हैं.
Yeah, and also just to add to another point, this also plays a part when we keep saying, okay, why is he picking certain kind of players or players from a certain section? Because all of this matters. They've been with the person, they know how much the person can do and how they can do. But then we can also see that as a bias. Yes, there is this bias, which is why he's going for him. But at his point, he's thinking, I have worked with these guys, I can trust these guys to do the job for me. So it is always going to be like that.
It's interesting to see how it really kind of goes forward and evolves season by season, because one thing is players getting opportunities, but then how many times have we seen in an IPL where a youngster is given a chance but he's not taken it, a youngster is given a chance but he has taken it, or he's taken it maybe a year or two later. So it's about a young player not just thriving right now, but also kind of picking out the best things from that team, just like how Virat did with batting with Kumble and Dravid and Callis and Peterson. So it made him a better player. Similar with Parag. So many examples that I can cite, which is insane. I just want to end this chat by asking both of you all, given the fact that we've seen half of IPL 2025, who are your two emerging players to not just break out this year, but also make headwaves going forward in the IPL? Two names, guys. I'll start with Nick's, then I'll go to Akshay, and then I'll give you my picks as well.
Let's go 1-1 then, क्योंकि एक नाम मेरे को
Okay.
immediately आया, तो उसके साथ we'll go. I think Prince Yadav is someone that I'm really keen to look at. I don't remember or recall the last time I saw any Indian bowler coming in and happy to bowl a Yorker at will. So I feel Prince Yadav is a very good name there. दूसरा भी मैं बोल ही देता हूँ. Then I think with Prince, I think Ayush Mhatre is someone I saw read of before as well. And now that I've seen him live, again, see, that is where that bias comes in. When you see somebody live, when you see him take down people that you want him to, and he does well, let's hope Ayush is also well taken care of.
Akshay, what about you?
Yeah, Prince is a great shout, to be honest. I remember seeing him play tennis ball cricket. I was telling Avnish, and it's maybe Yorker pe Yorker dale jata, and that's how he rose to fame. By the way, Kolkata have signed a bowler from the Indian Street Premier League. You remember the tennis ball cricket tournament that's happening now? They've signed someone from there. Like apparently he was the best bowler of the tournament or something as a net bowler over here. Just goes on to show कि यार मतलब, and now it's not even conventional pathways. You can just be some street player who's playing on the streets of Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, and even some interior parts of India, and all of a sudden you can't be bowling with the likes of Russell, Rahane, and whatnot, and make it count. So happy to see that. One name that I can't look past, Vipraj Nigam, has to be right up there. I won't be surprised अगर थोड़ा उसको fast track भी कर दे. I'm not, by that I don't mean Team India, I mean India है इस सब के लिए भी, because बहुत potentially is done well in red ball cricket too. I don't think the Indian team has seen too many leg spinning all-rounders. All-rounders हमने देखा, but they've usually been finger spinners. To have someone who can bowl wrist spin and bat just as proficiently, that's a luxury that Team India would love to have. And been super impressed seeing him. भाई उसके अलावा किसका नाम रहा? I'm just trying to think कौन है. Would Ankush Raghuvanshi still count? Because I've loved
नहीं
watching.
हाँ ठीक है fair, मतलब he's been there for more than a few years now ऐसा.
Like there are more names. I just need a bit more time. Aniket Verma and all good shouts, folks. I just think there are more people. इसलिए मैं सोच नहीं पा रहा.
See,
और
while
कौन
he
है भाई?
while he thinks about it, all I want to clarify is, as long as the person playing on street is not Akshay in a certain place during certain weddings, then I think we are fine.
बस exactly.
Sorry,
That's
it's an
that's
inside joke. We can't do much about it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
Digvish. I'll go with Digvish.
proper
Fantastic.
inside
Thank you, sports fan. Digvish,
Yeah.
mind blowing. बहुत खुश हूँ.
Digvesh is a good shot. So I was going to go spinner as well. I'll go Zishan Ansari from SRH. I think I've really liked him. Early days for him, but I generally feel like because this spin is so important in modern day 20, I generally think Zishan Ansari has a long way in this tournament. The other name I thought about, and I likened him to Murli Vijay instantly, is Shaik Rasheed. I think he might go that path that Gaikwad got in 2020, take his chance and build on it. Obviously, have great young talent at their disposal, which we're yet to see, Vansh Bedi and all of that. But this boy, Rashid, there's a reason why Dhoni picked him straight away. And he seems a package. Obviously, he didn't do so well against Mumbai. But again, I don't want to count the chickens just 2 innings in. So Zishan Ansari for me and Sheikh Rashid. But obviously, I'm not neglecting Priyan Charya or Vaibhav Suryavanshi by no means whatsoever. So, look, you guys can have your shouts in the comments. Ankita saying Ashwini Kumar from Mumbai is a good shout as well. There is, of course, Arjun Tendulkar doesn't count, mate. I mean, we've already seen him in the IPL.
He's now
Aniket
growing.
Verma, Sai Sudarshan will probably be upset that he didn't get the contract for the BCCI that he wants, but we'll get into that in just a bit. Before we talk about other things in the IPL, let me just, of course, put out the Monday Night Live question. Will we see much more under 18 talent in the IPL? We'll put the poll out for this, producer. So, Shaunak, just get a poll cracking with this exact question, and then we'll take the poll results in the 12th man section when people vote, so to speak. Right. We're shooting this on a Monday. Please like this video. We're done with our first topic of discussion today. There's plenty more things to get into, and to get a fan live on Monday Night Live, you don't want to miss that. One thing I can tell you watching the KKR GT match right now is I got another thing ticked off my bingo card, because GT have got their second 100+ opening stand. So I predicted at the top of the season. They had one before and they got two now. So that's brilliant. We'll just show you the points table, because the points table is so compelling. It is incredible. So before the first ball of this game, it literally stood like this. Now imagine KKR win tonight. They go on 8 points with Mumbai. So you'll have 5 teams on 10, 2 teams on 8, and then 3 bottom trawlers, which who knows? They could also have a start of things, building momentum, so on and so forth. So let's just recap the winners and losers from week 4, chaps. Where do we start? What was the most captivating thing which happened in IPL last week? Is it regarding, I don't want to say RCB or CSK, because that was probably the weeks gone by. Would you say
Delhi
Punjab
versus
had Delhi versus Ara, that top game?
That's
The
super
super
over,
over?
bhai. Yeah, like they won a game they had no business winning. So it
But
has
that
to.
super over, uh, who who do you kind of attribute it down towards? Is it Stark's great bowling? Is it Jurel and Hetmaya not being able to time it? Akshay, I'll let you go first here, and then Nick can jump in.
I don't want to be very harsh on Jurel and Hetmaya, to be honest, because Stark was really bowling some excellent thunderbolts there. But Voda presence of mind चाहिए था. You know, Stark's bowling well. He's in good nick. It just seemed like the areas they were trying to access as well. Like, it seemed very stupid. You know what's coming. Stark bowled 6 Yorkers. In fact, on air, I remember it was Shane Watson with, who was it? The other person kept saying that Stark should go for a bounce. I'm guessing it was Simon Do. No, it was Michael Clark. If I'm no, who was there? It was someone else. Michael Vaughan probably. He kept saying Stark should bowl a bouncer because they are expecting a Yorker. Watson was like, no, I know Stark. He backs himself to bowl Yorkers under pressure when he's under pressure, and he's going to continue bowling his Yorkers. He nailed them 6 out of 6. So again, great credit to Stark, sure. But the access areas behind square, na kuch to karu. Despite that, Hitman kept trying to hit it front to square, kept trying to access the cover region, access the mid wicket region. थोड़ा कहीं पे तो दिमाग लगाना पड़ेगा था. The running तो यार, see, I know Hitman is not the quickest of runners any which way, so I wasn't ever going to look at that. I mean, you need 9 of 6. You cannot say running was the mistake. That भाई ये 6 balls थे ना, 6 के 6 Yorker ही सही. It was, yeah, you needed a bit more presence of mind. But what was probably even more hilarious for us and very sad for them was that they had to see a repeat of it just 2 days later when Avish Khan also put up a fantastic display of Yorkers. And once again, सबको fronter square ही मारना. In fact, we were doing a watch along. You knew field आ रहा. I remember telling कि भाई ठीक है, ये field अच्छा ठीक है, wide Yorkers, okay, now on the stumps. And he bluffed Hetmire, and Hetmire hit it straight to Shardul Thakur. It was sad, man. It was genuinely sad. So winners, I would probably say BC, and losers have to be RR, man. The way they lost 2 games that they had, they should have won and potentially knocked themselves out of the tournament.
Yeah, something to really think about from a Rahul Dravid perspective. Jaiswal is back in the runs, but he couldn't get them across the line. Parag also threw away his wicket over there in that 2-run defeat. And it just makes you think about how it's going to happen going through. We're already done discussing. Yeah, let's put that back on there. Winners and losers. Just on that, before I go to Nick's, best Yorker specialist this week, Akshay. Was it Avesh, Stark, Josh Hazelwood, or Bhuvi?
Man, it's hard. I have my bias for Stark. Left arm angle, that tail. He got it to tail a lot. And that was under pressure. See, Bhuvi and Josh ko to main hata hi dunga because Avesh and Stark did it when they were defending. Josh and Bhuvi, you can still probably give the batters some benefit of doubt, saying कि ठीक है, bowlers के ऊपर pressure ही नहीं था. The batting team was under pressure, 6 wickets down and all of it. यहाँ पे तो I'll probably side with Stark, but Avesh, मतलब very close second.
Okay, next, let's come to your winners and losers from week 4. Was that super over part of it? Do you have Mumbai Indians as their winners because they've won a hat-trick of games now this week? Or is there something that you see outside the box?
No, I'll be shameless and say winners. I'll include myself and bowlers because I was hoping for a super over, and for it to really come off in the same week was absolutely blessed from cricket. And bowlers, clear winners for me because I actually don't agree with Akshay where he says access behind square. People are not skilled enough to hit tailing Yorkers behind the wicket. We saw what happened with Riyan Parag and even others. So I think it is very good for the game that after a year where we were wondering कि भाई 230, 240, for the bowlers to come back with reverse swing tells you. Now you had Shashank also yesterday, Marco Jansen. What could they do with a Yorker? And what do you do with it? How do you cannot even think कि मैं इसको एकदम कैसे मारेगा भाई? You saw what happened with Stubbs when he tried to reverse Siraj. You cannot do that. The point is you do it well because it's coming in the straight line and you're like, इसको तो किधर भी मार भाई, इधर ऐसा मार तू. But if it is swinging, you have no clue of the line of it. So even this much a change and you would be gone. So I think I'm very happy that the saliva ban has resulted in the lifting of the ban has resulted in people getting those Yorkers in. So winners clearly bowlers for me, and losers difficult but RR, bro. You cannot lose from 25 from 80. I can understand 9 of 6 can happen once. Okay, ho gaya. Stark bowled very well. How do you go down the same path again? And I would still say Stark bowled better. Aves still gave you chances. But okay, I mean, sometimes you have to learn the hard way.
Ask over there to both of you. Nikhila, apne kahna ki they don't have the skill. I don't think I'm faulting them for the lack of skill, but the lack of attempts. Like even with Shashank and Marco Jansen, what did you make of that? They did not even attempt. अगर attempt करके fail होते तो ठीक है आपके पास.
Correct. Sorry, I'm smiling because I am remembering of a guy who batted at 4 yesterday in Wankhede and I saw his 50, but he never made an attempt to hit a boundary.
Exactly. So, in case for the uninitiated, but
no, it's fine.
I think my only
Cricket
challenge
for
there is
saying, bro, Nick's sorry. Cricket for saying, bros, Nick's is still unaware. Akshay Avnish, please tell him the star clearly said that he didn't use any saliva. No point.
but the point is cricket for it's not just about star. Generally, also, how did you say this coming?
And again, to be clear, bowlers don't use the saliva. It's the fielders who use saliva. So start not using makes no difference.
And please, मतलब भाई साहब इतना तो लीवे दे दो भाई के एग्जैक्ट डिटेल्स में हम नहीं जा रहे कि स्टार यूज करा नहीं करा, बट एवरीबडी एल्स हैज बीन एबल टू maintain the ball so that they are getting it to reverse. So sorry, kicking for by thoda aware hai, but yeah, to the point that Akshay was speaking about, at times I think that is where people are getting completely caught off guard. That I don't see many people saw this coming, and think from now we will see changes in the batting order also. That we might see more power hitters being held back. And this is why everybody who's former cricketer was like, bowl Yorkers, bro, bowl Yorkers. And we were like, arey dude, kaise bowl Yorker? It is coming straight. But then now you can understand why they kept saying, because they knew reverse could happen. And it wasn't easy to line up people to hit. So I think we'll see that change happening. And they will have to figure this out, because when was the last time you said less than single digits being defended in IPL? We'll have to go long time back to see that happen 2 times in a season. So it is a good change in cricket, and may that continue.
Absolutely. Mukesh Ambani saying this IPL is the least I've watched in the last 5 years. And Cricket for saying Stark by mistake played international level on that day. Greg K saying Gill needs to retire. He's just wasting balls right now. He's going at 140 with 9 wickets in hand. That's blasphemous from Greg. But look, you're welcome to say your comments. Like this video, guys. I mean, I really do this podcast with great fervor and energy every week. And we take your comments. It's the most interactive podcast there is for sure. Dhoni is spoiled all the finishers by taking it deep. Now everyone else tries the same and failing terribly at it. And Andy asking, what are we going to do with free scoring batters such as Mhatre and Brevis at Chekhov? We'll come to that when we kind of look ahead to CSK SRH later this week. I think I'm doing fan cams there. Hopefully I run into the SRH uncle again. My quick winners and losers this week, I have Devdutt Padikkal as my winner. Because yes, he performed well against Chennai and Mumbai against some of the toughest attacks. But this one, after that RR chase as well, he needed to get a 50. He's got a 50. He's got that monkey off the back. Maybe he should have kind of gone on to finish it off. But again, I can't complain. Another winner for me, Krunal Pandey away from home, Akshay. It's almost like he's a different bowler away from home compared to Chinnaswamy. All 10 of his wickets have come away from home and none at the Chinnaswamy. And maybe people would say as well, all of his wickets have been thanks to Tim David, most of it at least, in the boundary kind of those 4 for 45 coming in Wankhede, even against PBKS. I think Prabsimram found Tim David had long gone quite a bit. So essentially, 2 winners from an RCB perspective. Losers, I would say me. I'll tell you why. Because Shreyas Iyer doesn't follow me on Instagram. As in, like, he's blocked me. What have I said on Shreyas Iyer? He's literally blocked me. So yesterday, I went on Insta and I was talking to Vikas and I was just like, bro, what is Shreyas Iyer on Instagram? Is he not there? And then he's like, what are you saying? He's there, Shreyas Iyer 96. And then I was like, I can't find him. And then he's there, like, bro, is he blocked you? Have you said something slanderous about Shreyas on the watch along? You know me, I won't hold back. But I generally don't think I've said anything bad about Shreyas, but I'm the loser in this case. Shreyas doesn't follow me. Shreyas, if you're watching, I'm sorry, man. What have I said? What have I said? Like, it's incredible. Actually, do you think you're banned from some cricketers on Insta?
Not sure. Never really bothered even looking.
Bro, sorry. If I am, then you can definitely be banned.
Really? Next, who's banned you?
Who's banned
Quite a few of them.
Oh, man, that's ridiculous.
The first block to Hafizi tha, which is fair.
Why is it fair? ऐसा क्या बोल दिया भाई? Which is fair भी बोला है आपने.
Because I think he got the wrong intention. When you remember getting him out and then doing that laugh, I think I had that joke going for a while where, like, bhai, kya kar diya? Hafiz ho gaya ekdam. And immediate block.
Unbelievable, man. Sports fan saying Avnish you're blocked because I was sniffing BK's gut. I've always been doing that, to be fair. So I don't know what's new for Shreyas to emerge out of the pocket. Avnish probably abused him during an RCB watch along. Did I? I don't think I did. I honestly don't think I did. But, like, look, I know there are other colleagues, which I shouldn't take names of, who've been blocked by Virat himself. And it's something that it makes you think. Because, look, when we were in that flight with RCB, I can tell you one thing for sure. is those cricketers and other cricketers watch cricket.com, which gives me great glee and happiness. It's insane. So much so that I think that RCB, Akshay, in the parody press conference, they've mentioned
I
us in
know
a.
what you're saying.
Last year they did it, and this year they did it as well. So if you guys know, RCB have given us a shout out in the parody presser, and it's great. It's absolutely brilliant. Mukesh Ambani saying Avnish joins. Jesus, Avnish joins the League of Pro Cricket Journalists. Vikram Gupta being banned by Ayat. Did he get banned too? That's incredible. That is incredible. Mohammad Aram will take this one in the 12th man section for
Yeah,
sure about
I have
saliva and
something
all of
to
that.
say. Yeah, let's give that then. I'll say that then.
For sure. So those were our winners and losers from last week. But looking ahead to week 5 of IPL, let's just give you a preview and predictions. To today, of course, GT KKR, I think all three of us and many neutral fans want KKR to win this. So it just kind of makes it even competitive at the top. Then tomorrow, you have the small matter of, what is it? LSG
DC,
versus
LSG.
DC at the Ikana. I love a rained out scene there, 1 point each. But no, there has to be a winner. I don't think the rain's going to stop there. Then Wednesday is SRH MI. This fixture last year, I did fan cams. SRH scored 277. It was a statement fixture going ahead in the IPL. Thursday, we're doing fan cams again. RCB, RR. That's going to be a sensational watch. Vaibhav Suryavanshi at the Chittaswamy. Only time will tell. Friday, I'm also doing fan cams. This is incredible. CSK, SRH, match 43. And then Akshay doing the watch along for that. Saturday, there is one game, KKR Punjab, the V Zara Derby. And then Sunday, there's two, MILSG and then DC RCB. So let's start with Tuesday's game, guys. LSG DC. How important is that? LSG getting 2-3 slender wins in recent times. They beat KKR and KKR. They beat RR and RR. Now, DC at home will be a tough prospect. So next, straight away, LSG DC. Who starts favorites and who's going to win that?
I think DC probably start favorites basis their overall form. I'm not saying LSG will not do well, but I think it is time LSG get other heroes into the game as well. I think they've been carried handsomely by that top three. I think it's about time some of the other heroes also come, and this is good for LSG in the long run. I think their bowling, we don't know the kind of quota that will turn up. Let's see if that is the reverse thinking. I think LSG's bowling is a bit weaker, which if I compare it to DC, it looks a lot more packaged and more options there. The JFM has been dropped. So that is something that I'm very keen to see if he gets a game at Kotla or that's done for the season, because I genuinely felt DC lost the last game because they did not have an option in their squad to replace a batter, and they had no option but to get Ferreira out. So I just hope they sign that replacement also very soon. So yeah, DC favorites there, and LSG should fight, but hope DC can pull through.
Okay, actually, I want to ask you about LSG DC. I'll ask you about the next game in terms of SRH MI on Wednesday. Mumbai, can I make it 4-4? And tell me honestly, hand in heart, are you scared of Mumbai Indians now, the way they're playing? Because imagine a situation later in the tournament where you have DC, maybe RCB Punjab, three teams who haven't won the IPL, and then you throw Mumbai Indians there. It's almost like throwing the cat amongst the pigeons and like, oh my God, here we go. Sixth title beckoning. People in fan camps yesterday ardent Mumbai fans saying, Lik lo bhai, MI abhi wapas aa gaya, and the comeback is on. Do you believe that? And do you think if they win in Hyderabad, who are already down in the dumps, it just makes them go from strength to strength? They're becoming a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, I mean, Rohit Sharma being amongst the runs was probably the last, was the missing piece in that jigsaw puzzle, so to say. Bumrah's already in. Bowl's not done too badly. Stanton's also getting into his groove. The way he was bowling yesterday, it was beautiful to watch. So they've got most bases covered now with that top three also firing. I already think they are going to make it to the top four, to be honest. So next match, whether they win or lose, they are definitely going to be a force to reckon with in the second half of the tournament. But for some reason, I fancy SRH's chances because the last time they played in Hyderabad was against Punjab Kings, and we all know what happened. So they themselves will be actually, pretty, how do I put this, motivated probably, yeah, because the way they played that day, that was the last game. They're coming off a nice 6-day long layoff, and they will be motivated to do well in the second half. So I'm expecting this to be a very very high scoring encounter, firstly because it is going to be a typical red soil surface. तो मुंबई भी खुश, SRH तो वैसे ही खुश, तो अपन भी खुश, तो देखने भाई अच्छा मैच.
SRH fans, I can give you an update. There was a rumor that Pat Cummins might be leaving the IPL midway. There was a cryptic post put up by his partner Becky saying goodbye Indians, stuff like that. But I think he's just gone to Singapore for a couple of days, taking a mid-season vacation. We've seen footballers do that for the Premier League, but that's a long enough season. But Cummins just wants a little break because 5 defeats in 7 as a captain is not easy to take. But I'm pretty sure he'll come hard against the Mumbai Indians. RCB RR then. I'll give again Akshay this and then I'll come to Knicks in the next fixture. RCB RR, when you look at it, I think Samson misses out due to injury. So I think Vaibhav Suryavanshi will definitely start. But the all-important question is, and RCB players have been saying this as well in their tweets and their posts, that they want to win at the Chinnaswamy. So forget the part that we have to win the toss. What else they can do? I mean, is it a blessing in disguise you're facing RR who have been kind of lacking form? RCB, do you think they can win this? Or do you think, again, it's going to be away traditions at the Chinnaswamy, 2 points for the away team?
I mean, I'll start off with my trademark statement. Can they win it? Of course they can. Will they win is the question for me. And for that, I really think RR will be coming hard at RCB, to be honest. It won't be a straightforward win. I know folks might be thinking, RR down in the dumps and all of it, but make no mistake, they have played good cricket for most parts in both those games. It's not like they were comprehensively defeated. So which means they are wounded, but they're definitely not out. And you know what they say about wounded tigers, don't you, Avni? So I won't count them out. And of course, if we don't win the toss, all I'm hoping for, and something Virat also alluded to in the post-match presentation yesterday, thoda application chahiye. And I'm happy that they have admitted to their mistakes and they've recognized them. That is the first step in, course correction. अगर तुम recognize ही नहीं करते, तुम admit ही नहीं करते कि तुम गलती कर रहे हो, तो फिर फायदा नहीं. The fact that he admitted that the batting side, they debriefed, they spoke to Andy Flower, and they realized, you know what, this is not the approach. Unfortunately, in the third game, they had to go hard because of the 14-over game. So that's how, at least that's what he had to say. So I'm hoping, assuming that it's going to be a proper 20-over-the-side encounter on Thursday, I'm hoping that their approach will be a lot more attuned to what's needed at the Chinnaswamy.
Yeah, I want to just see if they can actually get their first win of the season because RCB, the only home team, or rather team this IPL who have not won at home, which is shocking. They should have had the RCB RR game on the 23rd of April because normally things happen to RCB that day with regards to 49 all out, 263, all of those things. And 24th April could have sat well with SRH Mumbai because Sachin Mhatre and so on and so forth. But I've realized that SRH play 2 ex-champions in 3 days' time. First, at home to Mumbai, and then Friday night's clash, which I'll preview with CSK man right now, Knicks. CSK SRH, surely Dhoni's going to pick up points there because if there's any team to come out of those bottom 3 from RR, CSK, SRH, are back Chennai with the new energy that they have bringing into the team. Do you agree, Knicks?
I don't think it will be straightforward because we don't know the kind of conditions that they are going to get. It is very weird to speak about it, but that has been the case at Chepauk. So let's hope the kind of surface that is coming good. Sorry, Gillis just got out for 90. Tough luck. Prediction goes wrong there. But for CSK, I think the bowling is still good. I think they were out of the game yesterday when they did not take more than 2 in the power play against Mumbai because dew had set in. The thing, as Akshay said, it's not been that Chennai are not in the contest in the last few games. It's just been some of those mistakes have been too big to cover up. And then you cannot afford that to do that against teams who are waiting to pounce. So I think SRH are also a similar team where they're happy to play their shots. Now, if that works out in CSK's favor, nothing like it. But will it is a question. And I would rather have them chase. But then can Chennai bat first? I don't know. Because if Jadeja is batting at 4, I want him to bat at 4. I don't have a problem with him batting at 4. It's about getting a quick start. Yesterday also, when I was at the stadium, both Shivam and Jadeja are happy to just tap, run. Bhai, ODI cricket thodi khel rahe hain. One of you will have to look for that boundary earlier, and you had people waiting to come in. So if they execute well, hopefully, I also see Brevis playing that game, and that should be good. If there is any little confidence, SRH lineup hasn't been in that best form. But maybe that is the day, as Akshay would say as an RCB fan, that is the day for SRH's bowling to come into form. So who knows?
Look, all of us that don't think had SRH in our top four anyway. So it's not like we're going to sit here and be like, oh, look at us and we've called correctly. But look at us, we have called correctly. My question to just wrap up the weekday games before I go into the weekend is, do you think SRH will be officially out of the IPL this week? Because if they lose to MI at home and CSK away, it's goodbye, Tara. Thanks for the memories. Let's start in 2026. So, yes or no, quick answers. SRH to be eliminated this week from the IPL?
I'll say no.
Yeah, I'll hope
Okay.
not. Yeah, I don't think the tournament needs anybody going out now.
Okay. I agree with y'all because I think they'll beat MI, but CSK will win at Chepauk on Friday. That's my prediction. Random stat thrown in by Cricket.com saying, fun stat, Pro Virat has always been at the end of all IPL games that RCB's chase. Thank you for that. And he also asks, please confirm which watch alongs you're all doing this week. I'll show that to you in the what to watch graphic very shortly. Sanjay Papugiri saying, if RCB lose against RR at the Chinnaswamy, dissolve them. It'll be crazy. Fan cams will just be brilliant anyway. I think fan cams is there for sure. Right, weekend games, 3 of them, like I said, only one on Saturday, KKR versus Punjab. If KKR win today, and we obviously can't tell you if they won today against GT or not, because you might be watching this on Wednesday or Thursday. If they win today and then they win against Punjab at home, that will actually be really interesting for them because they'll be on 10. Punjab, I think, will probably be on 10 because I don't think they play till then. So KKR fans might be chomping at the bit. But Super Sunday, guys, that's what really catches my eye. MILSG. So is it 2 straightforward points to Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya and company? And DCRCB, I think, promises to be the fixture of the week. I don't know, agree or disagree. But MILSG, you start with your preview and predictions next there. LSG, they've traveled well. The last 2 away games they've won. They've beaten LSG, I mean, they've beaten RR and KKR. So can they do it in the west coast of Mumbai?
Well, they could, very well could. I will be fascinated to see Bumrah versus Puran. It's a battle that would be great to see. And again, they will be used accordingly. Because Mitch Marsh, again, he's had a good run. Akram has been playing very, very well. So I think it will be a very good contest. For LSG, it is just about getting new ball wickets, I feel. Because once they do that, I think their bowling is good enough to keep people in check. With Digvesh, with Bishnoi, and even Avesh bowling 3 at the back end is superb to think in terms of execution. So I think both those games, LSG Mumbai, because as you said, if Mumbai go into that game beating SRH, I am very sure many teams are going to be like, this is not the time to play Mumbai because they are then coming in with that aura that we generally associate, and you already have Sky doing a special. Rohit has got runs, so it's just Rickelton who's left, and Will Jacks also had a good game. So I think it is shaping up to be a very good finish for the IPL, and I think that could be. I think we should see a super over this week. So let's get it out of the way. We should see another super over this week.
Another one. That'll be brilliant. 15th tie, if I'm not wrong, in terms of IPL history. So that was the 15th Super Over in many ways. Let's see if we can get Sweet 16 this week as well. It will be the KL Rahul Derby. It'll be pretty much lots of things to look forward to him from a Virat Kohli perspective because he doesn't forget. And I know that whole thing that KL did, Virat will do that at the Firozshah Kotla with no prizes for guessing. That's 100% happening. Right, let's move on then to the best of the rest because there's so many things to tell you about news-wise. India and their contracts, the contracts which, of course, started in October 24, goes up all the way till September 2025. And we'll talk about all of that in the best of the Right, we'll also talk to you about the PSL Shithousery and maybe even the Bangladesh-Zimbabwe test match update along with other things in this little space. But we'll start with Team India and their contracts, which literally everyone wanted to know if Shreyas Iyer would get a contract, including me, who is, of course, now doesn't have on Instagram. But jokes apart, the only movers and shakers is Rishabh Pant, who's moved up a grade. I know there have been few cricketers who didn't get a contract last year, Akshay Nix, and I'll read out the names for you and the viewers. Now, Shreyas Iyer is the obvious one. He didn't have a contract last year. He's got a grade B contract now. The grade C guys, there's Dhruv Jurel, Sarfaraz Khan, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Ishan Kishan, Abhishek Sharma, Akashdeep, Varun Chakravarti, and Harshit Rana. So they all have grade C. Grade A plus remains only 4. Rohit, Virat, Jasprit Bumrah, and Ravindra Jadeja. And it'll also be interesting to see how Pant has grabbed his chance in terms of grade A and a contract there. The people not retained, Ashwin, because he's retired, Shardul Thakur, Jitesh Sharma, KS Bharat, and Avesh Khan all have not got contracts. Right. What do you guys make of it? First of all, do you think this great contract system is fine, Akshay? I mean, how do you look at it with the divisions and the demarcations?
Just the structure or the names? Are you specifically talking about this contract?
The structure. We will come on to the names, but just the structure.
That's a fair shout. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works across, across the board or across boards in this case. So yeah, I mean, it's fair, I guess, because each player based on what they bring to the table and what they've done for Team India. I'm guessing there are certain KPIs that they also look at, just like any other corporate entity. So wo hota hai. So yeah, it's fine. It's a fairly performance based pay over there. So theek hai, chalta hai.
In terms of any surprise inclusions for y'all, who's missed out on getting a contract? Obviously, everyone felt at the time last year, whenever Shreyas didn't get a contract, everyone was just like, how is this possible? IPL winning captain, so on and so forth. Any inclusions or exclusions, which is raising an eyebrow? Nick, I'll start with you and then we'll come back to Akshay.
I think I was happy with Shreyas. I'm slightly pleasantly happy that, Ishan Kishan also gets it. But how he wasn't part of any India setup, which is weird. I don't know if it's an admission that, they got it wrong. I'm very happy that Sarfaraz has got one, because I at times was fearing that, maybe he'll not be the part of the test setup going forward. Maybe if this is a sign, then it is good. It is a good one that you have to look for more such options in those tests scheme of things. So happy with those two names. And the only guy I'm not happy about is Shardul Thakur, because I felt that could have got one, but even at least grade C, because I don't know how much Nitish Kumar Reddy, given the recent form or his place, his inclusion. But again, I think they are very big on this set of players coming in, so maybe that's why they've all got that contract.
The 34 seniors men's team players, and lots of you all asking in the comments how Ishan got a contract, or is Sai not eligible? He should start being included in squads right now. Sai Sudarshan definitely deserved one. Cricket Info saying Harshit Rana eligible to get a contract. Doesn't he have to play 3 tests, 10 T20s, and 8 ODIs, something like that? In fact, he goes on to say, guys, can you please elaborate how it kind of works? Akshay, I'm not sure if you know about the whole way it works, but can you explain it? Or Nick, or should I go at it?
You can go for it, but me, pehle bata do. I have a working understanding of it, but if you know the specifics, you go for it.
Essentially, the way I look at it is just in terms of how they look at player in terms of, okay, fine, is he still participating in 3 formats? And then they kind of look at the amount of games he's played for India in the season gone by, and then they actually look at the whole profile of the player as well. So you guys might be wondering, how is Jadeja still in the A+ tier with Bumrah, Rohit, and Virat? How is Rohit and Virat still in the A+ system, given that they've retired from one format? But it takes in terms of the matches that they played, like something that Cricket Info alluded to. You have to kind of get into the grade systems by playing a certain amount of matches. So that's what I understand of it. I can't put my head to why Jadeja's got an A+ contract. Even though I love him to bits, he should probably be in grade B or grade A, to be fair. But I understand the test match scheme of things also weighs heavily on these kind of calls, right, Akshay?
These are tricky because, on the one hand, if you look at it solely from a cricket perspective, I get the argument. I get why people are slightly miffed. What are these folks doing here? Why is that pay over there and all of it? But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, what BCCI is looking at is what are these cricketers bringing to the table? And there's a lot more, on offer than just, performances on the field. Virat Kohli brings in endorsements for BCCI, for Team India. जब Dream 11 का नाम छपता है वहाँ पे, तो Dream 11 को चाहिए कि विराट कोहली भी पहने हो. Only then would it matter for them. Only then are they willing to pay what they are paying. So all of that also plays a role, which is why certain people are given, a contract or a pay grade slightly higher than what you would have probably expected them to get. someone like Rishabh Pant comes to mind. Like these are all players who've shown, who've also sort of managed to build a bit of an identity for themselves off the field. And that, unfortunately or fortunately, is also important. You can look at it both ways. I can't I don't have an opinion on whether it's right or wrong. ठीक है भाई, capitalism है तो जो है सो है. About the matches bit, I actually didn't know कि वो वाला scene है. Like I'm guessing that is only for A plus and A, because C वाले में तो I don't think there's any such eligibility criteria that would be looked at, because a lot of players get a go at based on who they think would potentially make their debuts or could potentially feature for Team India going forward. Because last year, for instance, they came up with the special Pacers wala contract, if you remember. Akash Deep, Vidwat Kavirappa, Vaishak Vijay Kumar, and I'm forgetting who the fourth one was. All four of them got that contract. तो वो मतलब उनके बेसिस पे आई डोंट थिंक ग्रेड सी में कोई ऐसा है eligibility criteria, but I might be off here क्योंकि Rajat Patidar also I don't think has played a lot of cricket, so to say, in the last 12 months for Team India, but he still managed to
See, the Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Ayurved is very interesting because remember, both of them got told off by the BCCI to play more domestic cricket and come back. Shreyas played for India in the Champions Trophy, so hence he's got the contract. Ishan was sent to the BGT to play those games in terms of those 4-day tests. So technically counts part of playing India A as well. Now, I understand this because I found it online, so I'll read it out. Grade A plus includes players who are regulars in all three formats of the game. Even though Virat and Rohit retired from T20, this contract will see them include in that grade A plus category. Grade A includes those who are consistent in tests and participate in other formats. So, for example, Ashwin was there, but is not there anymore. Grade B covers players who are regulars in white ball formats, but the exception here is Jaiswal, I think, who's also cracked it in Test cricket. Grade C comprises players who are beginning to make their mark at the international level. Now, last year, the BCCI stated, and I quote, athletes who meet the criteria playing a minimum of 3 tests, 8 ODIs, and 10 T20 internationals within a specified time period will automatically include it in Grade C on a pro rata basis. Players in the A plus category earn 7 crores, of course, and no need to tell you about the price structure for the other categories. But that's how it is. Has anyone been left out in terms of the main names this year? I think Sai Sudarshan should have got it for sure. Many people are saying, why is Kuldeep not in grade A? And I think Ankit also alluding to the fact that Ishan Kishan's 100 in that first IPL game has maybe pushed the selectors to kind of go that way. Chandan Rame also saying Rajat Patidar is part of the contract list. Looks like he's considering him in the mix. I mean, maybe. Sorry, Akshay, go on.
Yeah, just one thing to add, even what you mentioned. So again, it's all vague, it's all general. So matlab, these are just directions that they look at broadly, and again, they're not specific criteria. It's not mentioned ki 10 tests खेलना है, 3 ODIs खेलना है. So basically subjective, and which is how it should be. I don't think there should be any eligibility criteria. It should be based on what they think this person brings to the table. Like Rajat Patidar, I don't think has played any international cricket in the last 12 months. I can't recollect if he has. South Africa भी शायद नहीं गया था इस बार वो. So on what basis was he given a contract? पता नहीं. So it's probably because, like Chandan mentioned, they might be considering him for the future. And grade C wala, like you said, that part I knew and I forgot to mention. So those who play like Sai Sudarshan and all, in case they do get some game time, they are paid on a pro rata basis under the jo bhi grade C wala. And apart from that, they also get their match fee. That if they do play specific games.
Wild. Mohammad Alan saying, what does UC have to do to get a contract again? It's done and dusted, mate. Unless we see India go to Sri Lanka when the main team's happening in England or something like that, then maybe like how we saw that 2021 tour where we saw Christopher Gautam debut. We saw a few blokes debut in that particular series. Fair enough. You guys did a good job explaining that. I mean, I hope we did. But nevertheless, go check out more written stuff on cricket.com. All our colleagues explain it better through the written text. Right, let's stick to the best of the rest before we get the fan on the 12th man segment. And I know Chandan is patiently waiting back end. Thank you for that. We'll get you on in just a bit. But what else have we seen gone by this week? PSL. Now, the only thing I saw this week in terms of shithousery is Abrar Ahmad got cleaned up by Hassan Ali and he got sent off by that celebration, which is incredible. Babar's not having a good time. There's other things going on in it. We'll try to show you all the fun bits from the PSL, which is just a laughable league, to be fair. And I don't know when I say that, maybe Ramiz Raja will now ban me on Instagram because you'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? There was a lookalike. Now, check this out. Look at the RCB green jerseys and Noble, the red jerseys as well. Uh, it looks like Shaheen Shah had a son too early on the left hand side, but nevertheless, Daryl Mitchell memes as well. Now, apparently, he won a match, man of the match with this knock, and he needed a hair dye. I don't know for what. Maybe his beard, maybe something else. But nevertheless, Dollins and that brand over there in Pakistan making vibes. There was other things which went on. This looked like a Money in the Bank competition that Shaheen Shah Afridi was unveiling, but it is something that was making news on Twitter. And do we have any more, producer? Or is that it from the PSL? That's it. I mean, there's a lot of things that we want to talk about on the field, but off the field, honest to God, PSL's just a laughing matter. There was another visual I saw of a cat scratching the hell out of a broadcast mat, and the commentator was laughing in it, saying, yeah, you know what? That's how the PSL is. Let's take some comments right now. Mohammad Aran, I mean, the joke's getting old, mate. I mean, I know there's one thing to learn to laugh at yourself, but if you just want to keep doing this, then cool. How do you want me to react? Do you want me to be like, oh, well done, bro, Mohammad Aran, what a fucking joke. I've laughed and laughed. I can't stop laughing. I mean, come on, mate.
But I will
Anyway.
definitely give Mohammad Aran a shout out. And he's managed to provoke Avnish. That takes something. So good on you.
I mean,
Aran.
they did it in the watch along, then they did it in the watch along again, and now he's come back and he's doing it in MNL. Honest to God, absolute Vele Panti. PSL is a kind of cricket, WWE Money in the Bank, hilarious. Tots and Champak, the IPL pet. I don't know if the PSL will go down that path, but the IPL pet, I mean, Ravi Shastri that day in the toss saying, and they've got him. Champak is here and all of that stuff. It was crazy. Unbelievable.
चंपक क्या नाम है भाई सही में मैं बता रहा हूँ चंपक सिर्फ चूतिए का नाम हो सकता है भाई मतलब I'm sorry इस
Wild,
जमाने में
wild.
no offense to all the oldies no offense to all the oldies but इस जमाने में how can you name a rope हो and that too ऐसा high functioning ये सब वो सब बोलने के बाद
Sorry. Sorry, I just want to ask, जो settle किया उसमें Vikas, I'm sure is not consulted because there are a few characters named Champak that Vikas loves, but even he would say कि नहीं भाई, नहीं, not Champak.
Okay, one second. Let's just wrap it up with best of the rest because I know like there's a fan patiently waiting. Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, if anyone cares, it's going to be a result-oriented test. Remember, this tour lasts how many tests, guys? 2 tests. One in Sylhet, the other in Chittagong. But right now, stumps on day 2, Bangladesh, the host, trail by 25 runs. And Zimbabwe batted first. Bangladesh batted first, got 191. Zimbabwe 273 in response, and now 57 for 1. Nix, have you watched anything of this match, or what have you understood from the scorecards?
It's just on and off. Couldn't catch it live, unfortunately. But happy that Brian Bennett is scoring runs. Happy that Nahit Rana has got 3 wickets because you need some more new names to come through. Let's see. Shanto's got a start in both. I mean, Shanto got a start in the first game. Let's see how he goes in this one because 57 for 1 is a decent place for Bangladesh and rain is around. You have seamers doing the job. So let's see how Bangladesh go.
Some of the Zimbabwe bowlers have impressed me. 3 for 21 for Wellington Massagatsa, 2 for 2 in 3 overs for Madivire, and they still had their pacers to run home with some wickets. Muzarbani and Nyochi, who used to call.
I mean, of course. Sorry, you have Mehdi Hasan Miraz with a mandatory 5 for. So that is it. Just goes without saying. कि कोई भी condition हो, Miraz भाई है तो very good. 5 for 52 is what I think he got. Top bowling spell. Yeah.
Indeed. If you guys are liking this Monday Night Live, please drop a like, and I know we'll pick up later this week. But appreciate a like right now. We take all your comments, we take jokes, we take absolutely everything. So let's see how it is going forward. Some good questions which we'll take in the IPL 12th man corner in just a bit because I've missed a few throughout the show, and apologies for that. Before we end the best of the rest, do we have a this or that graphic? No, we don't. So I'll just tell you exactly what are the watch-alongs this week. We're doing 3 of them. We're doing CSK SRH. Akshay will be alone in that one, so give him some company on the Friday night. Saturday, I think I'm back for Kings versus Kolkata. That should be a promising one. And then Sunday, we're doing, which one is it? Yeah, we're doing the DC RCB game. So lots to love on the cricket.com platform. This gist, of course, goes on to show all the other games. Pretty much ISL, I'm saying IPL and PSL dominated. The ISL ended with Mohun Bagan winning it. But essentially, some of the games you guys can look by in this week, which will be good to talk about. Right. Before we go into the 12th man corner, I just want to take you guys to a very fun segment. Apparently, it's a new segment. We're doing it for the first time this week. It's called How's That? Just joking. It's the familiar segment, and it is time where you literally answer Akshay's questions. Quizmaster, take over. What do you have for us this week?
Yeah, पहले तो bit of formality last week की भी खत्म कर लेते हैं. Where is last week's Howzzaatt? There it is. Of course, last week it was simple. 5 openers के नाम दिए थे. Among openers who've scored at least 500 runs since the last auction cycle, IPL 2022, the following names are at the bottom of a certain list: Rohit Sharma, Sunil Narine, Prithvi Shaw, Riddhiman Saha, Prabhsimran Singh. So these were the 5 names mentioned, and you guys had to guess what was this list all about. Of course, the list is about the least number of 50 scored by an opener, and Rohit Sharma with yesterday's 50 has inched past this bottom 5 and gone on to 6th position, but thankfully he was still a part of this. Before that, a lot of you guessed it and got it right. You were in the vicinity. Of course, we were openers with the lowest average, openers with high strike rates, and all of that. Unfortunately, we were talking about the least number of 50s. They have only 3 50s to their name. Rohit Sharma yesterday scored just his 4th 50 in IPL since 2022. Speaking volumes about why people were going after him, and happy to see him come good, of course, yesterday. So no correct answers. Hopefully, we will have some this time around. There we go. Very simple. Amongst the original 8 teams to take part in the tournament, only 3 teams have won the toss and less than 50% of the games they have played. All I want is who these 3 teams are, and I fear that my graphic designer has done a very bad job of putting this up. ये एकदम ही गलत table है. This is very misleading. To be clear, Mumbai Indians has the highest win percentage when it comes to tosses, 55.17. Okay. And then I hope you guys can bear with me. All I want to know is 49.21, 47.84 or 45. वो 3 लास्ट जो 3 नंबर आपको दिख रहा है, ये 3 नंबर पे कौन से टीम्स है? प्रोड्यूसर साहब, please get in touch. We'll first redo the graphic and get back to you. This is a very I'm sorry, this graphic isn't right. Producer saab, please ask Alex to get
Shocking.
back. Yeah, it doesn't make
Shocking
sense.
that. But look, I mean, if you guys can, first of all, decipher Akshay's quiz and then answer it, even more props to you, because the prizes nowadays, it's a feature on this podcast. And one man has done that. We'll bring him home in the 12th man segment, but in just a bit, in literally 2 minutes' time. So you guys can wait for the live show to end and then get your thoughts in the comments. But good to see a lot of you guys already participate in your answers. Now, this man, Crick Info, saying Akshay, quizzes in recent times have made the viewers confused so much. No wonder they'll be thinking in line such a low strike rate, low average. Is that true?
Thought I was keeping them as मतलब ऐसा simple as possible. अभी जितना हो सकता है मतलब simple as in the idea is to just थोड़ा आपके दिमाग में लगे कि यार अरे कौन हो सकता है. अगर बहुत सीधा obvious नाम पूछ रहे हैं कि tell me the highest run scorer of IPL 2014 तो मजाक आएगा. You should also feel the joy when you get the answer, right? तो इसीलिए थोड़ा सा रखा है. Hope you guys enjoy it though. अगर नहीं तो please do let us know, give us feedback on that as well. More than happy to sort of work on it, and we will have the graphic in some time. We can probably move to 12th man, till then, because it might take us like
We will.
5 minutes. Yeah, chalo.
We will. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll move on to the 12th man segment. And I'll tell you what, for the first time ever, we're going to get a fan on. And that it just gives me plenty of joy to do that. So what are we waiting for? Let's get the 12th man segment. Right, 12th man has normally been a place where Monday Night Live we encourage comments, but this time, for the first time ever, we're going to get a fan on, and not just any fan, a man who's been part of our channel in terms of the league and the comments. Chandan, good to see you, my friend. You won that particular competition. How are you, and how's it to be live on MNL?
Hey guys, it's been great. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share the space with you. I've been following MNL, all the other podcasts you've been doing, watching the fan cams. You guys are doing a great job, and yeah, and thanks for giving me the space to join.
That's brilliant. I'm pretty sure we have a few questions for you. My first question is, what catches you about cricket.com? I mean, is it the live content that we do? Is it the fun questions that Akshay prepares? Is it the watch-alongs? Is it the Knicks analysis? Is it fan cams? Talk to me. What do you like? What do you like? Hate?
Uh, I think it's the analysis part which is very apt and very good. You guys and also Somesh, everyone, that part, and also it keeps the fans engaging, which I think some of the other podcasts I follow don't really give that much space and liberty, and also the watch alongs you guys do, that's great to have in addition to watching the game, and especially appreciate the 9 hour watch along you guys did. I followed like three-fourth of it. That was great as well.
That was brilliant. I mean, generally have so much fun kind of interacting with you guys. And it's people like Chandan, people like Vasundhara and Samit VK, Mohammad Haran, all these guys who made our chat legendary, not just in terms of them being smart and really well informed cricket fans, but also giving us banter. Mohammad Haran just literally told me to go sniff Jadeja's guard again. So, look, we'll take all the insults. I don't mind having a laugh. I don't mind having a laugh. I'll throw the court open to Akshay and Nick's here. Akshay, you first, because Chandan's normally answered most of your questions right. It's good to see him, man. This is what we want to do, get fans on. What do you have for Chandan today, Akshay?
I mean, nothing much. Would love to chat, and I agree with Arhan. It's almost poetic that we've got Bengaluru Urga for our first ever in-person call-in. So that's great to watch. And simple. Let's start off with something basic. IPL. How has it been so far? Have you enjoyed RCB's tourney, and what do you expect from them going forward?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, after the auction, they had a strategy for the auction, and although there were some chinks, obviously it is there with all the teams. The way they have gone about the tournament itself has been great. Although I do really hope the next match at Chinnaswamy they win, but the away games they have been really dominant, and I'm really happy with how they have done, and also I'm very happy for especially the backing which they and Suyash have got, and how they are walking the talk, like they're doing really good. So happy with it.
So then let me ask you something. As a fan, IPL fan, RCB fan, how is your normal match day experience? Like, do you wake up and do you do some reading? What do you do post match? Because me and Akshay sometimes we finish the watch along, go back home, we'll watch the game, we'll watch the highlights, he watches the replay again. We're obsessed with cricket. So, as a fan, how's your cricket intake? How do you consume the cricket as most?
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, I used to do a lot of read ups before the game, but before the game nowadays it has reduced. But like, even if the game is around like for me, if it's a afternoon game, it will be around 5 a.m. here. So even if it is a 5 a.m. game, I strictly get up, watch it. If it is an RCB game, I do follow it thoroughly. And yeah, I sometimes join the watch along, or after the if it is a good win, I definitely watch the highlights, and also watch all the podcasts, how they break up the analysis and everything. If it is a bad game, also I do the watch the analysis, but the DC match and the PBKS match, I just couldn't bring myself to watch the analysis and stuff. But yeah, that's how my routine goes.
But wait,
Okay,
one thing,
super.
Chandan, like, for us, so it's our job, so we so anyways keep doing it. So how do you find the time? But because I'm assuming Houston, I don't think you're just there watching cricket. So how do you find time? Because are you working? Are you studying right now?
No, I've been working since like a year and a half. So yeah, because I have a bit of a hybrid setup here with my work. I am able to follow I'm able to follow the match and also some of the analysis. But yeah, if it otherwise it would have been more difficult. But yeah.
And do you
Okay,
support the
Nick.
Texas Super Kings? I'm sorry, I'll take up all the questions first and then I'll go. सब पूछना है मेरे को जानना है.
No, I've not really followed the MLC here. But yeah, I really hope that this time I can go and watch. But I've not followed the MLC here.
Very interesting. चलो निखिल भाई कुछ पूछना है?
I don't. Sorry to interrupt. But I don't think I would be supporting the Texas Super Kings.
Oh, Spoken like a true RCB fan there. Jokes.
RCB.
Oh,
And
we're in the RCB. I love that. Oh, I love that. Is it? Oh, one of the
Yeah,
games.
brilliant. That's a nice sporting match. Nick, what do you have for a rival fan, but of course, a darling in the chat, I'm guessing, Chandan Ramaya.
No, no. Firstly, great to be interacting. Very happy to see people who we read live, see live. Uh, I'm not going to borrow. I want you to tell me which is your most favorite CDC watching experience. That are there some of these moments? Maybe it is watch along of the past or any time. Two memories of the coverage on CDC, whether it is watch along or a chat that you still think like, dude, how do you do this? This is absolutely stupid, or whatever it is. Two best CDC memories for you.
Oh, I got introduced with CDC for through the MNL itself. I've been following cricket through cricket Twitter, and I know Nick's by since quite a long. I've been following him. So for CDC, it was through MNL. So I think I have good memories with the MNL. But the most recent ones, which I'm able to think of, is the watch alongs. I think one of the watch-alongs we spoke about a lot of stuff. I think it was one of the boring games, but the watch-alongs was really good. So that has been great, and also the MNL, the analysis. Whenever the experts come, the questions you ask, and yeah, I think some of the fans in the comments also giving you a hard time for not being able to put their questions to the experts. So those are some of the recent memories I have. But all of it has been great.
Brilliant. Really appreciate all those thoughts. Let me ask you a couple of questions before you go. Sanjay Pafigari saying that, yeah, indeed, we try to make the watch along as entertaining as we can. Sometimes it gets slanderous and we talk about different things that we don't want to ever revisit, but it is what it is. So, for every fan who comes on going forward in MNL, I've come up with a couple of questions, 3 or 4 questions, just to understand them better. So, here goes with Chandan. Okay, Chandan, what made you a cricket fan first? Your first cricket memory?
Yeah, I think it's just that with my dad, I used to watch games as a kid. So that's where all the journey started, and as like any cricket fan or any guy in India who plays cricket a lot. So that's how my journey started. And some of my earliest memories is in the 2002 2003 part, the India England Northwest series. Some of Sachin's, the Ashley Giles trying getting a stump out. S- Sorry, the keeper dismissal with Sachin, and also the 2003 World Cup. That was my first World Cup, and a lot of memories with that. Sachin hooking a Carrick out of the park. All those are my first memories.
That's brilliant. The second question, who is your all-time favorite player and who's your current favorite player in the game?
Yeah, since I think it might be the very obvious answers, but all-time favorite is Sachin Tendulkar, my first cricketing hero, and current favorite, and also part of my all-time favorite list is Virat Kohli, and I have to mention AB de Villiers. Can't not mention him. So yeah, these three.
Brilliant. And final question, because we're just trying to understand all our fans in terms of cricket.com, regular cool cats, how they kind of consume their cricket content. So even if you had to give me other names of people that you follow on YouTube or in the cricket world, be it Cricket Info, Crickbuzz, whoever, tell me 3 or 4 places where you follow your content from, be it DRS, Sky Sports Cricket. Tell me names and cricket channels that maybe we want to know, people in the chat want to know, that you, of course, check out every day.
Yeah, some of the channels you mentioned, DRS definitely, and also the IPL breakdowns which Cricket Info do between the games that I follow, and also mostly on Twitter I keep following. I've seen a couple of videos from Dan Weston as well. That mostly I think was during the auction, and also sometimes I try to follow Jared Kimber as well. These are the ones.
Super. Love that, man. You've absolutely hit the nail on the head in terms of all the kind of things you follow, and good to see you.
Anything you have to ask us, by the way, we also want you to ask us questions, of course.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it almost felt like we are in a bhai to interview chalu hai.
Exactly.
no, I was expecting like some of the questions I was expecting, and I mean that you would be asking. But yeah, I do have one question for next by. Some of the predictions do you? I know that you have been following cricket a lot and you do fantasy a lot, and but some of the predictions that just amazes me. Like, how do you get it almost spot on? Yeah, that's just my question out to you.
No, firstly, thank you first that you feel that way, that it is good on me. I think it is just crazy that it keeps happening, may it keep happening. It is just about visualizing the game. Even now, just a minute back, I wrote that I feel a single digit, actually a zero dismissal coming from Siraj, and he got Gurbaz on one. Because it is just watching and you feel that okay, this is something that could happen. And again, as you said, it's come from the fact that when you see so much of cricket and when you see so many of these guys pick certain type of shots, you kind of get into that and you understand their patterns, that okay, now they will do this, now they are likely to do that. So it just bases that. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't, but when it comes out, it is definitely very pleasing. So yeah, that is how it goes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, it's not a coincidence with Nick's. Knowing him long enough, he literally has a great gut feel, intuition for the game. He watches a lot of cricket, so it's literally a great asset of MNL and cricket.com. But Chandan, thank you so much for your time. I know you're in Houston right now. You've woken up to make this possible, and it gives a chance to other people to look at this and get on to the Monday Night Live in the weeks to come, because we would understand you as a fan, but we'd understand the other cool cats who always take part in the comments as well. Chandan, love to you, and we'll see you in the chat going forward. But who knows, if you win other things, we'll get you back on with some more energy.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for
Hopefully
that.
to
Take care.
thank you.
Yes.
Super.
Bye-bye.
Well done, man. Great to interact with fans. And I'll tell you what, guys, I mean, we'll try to make it possible for all you guys watching this, because I know there have been people who followed us beyond Chandan and haven't had a chance to feature live with us. We want to try doing a call-in show, but I think that's probably only possible from the studio. So we'll try to figure out the technicalities of it. But nonetheless, this StreamYard option and DMing us is brilliant. Remember, we're not going to forget you all in the 12th man section, because we know we got Chandan right now, but there were some terrific questions coming through all evening in this podcast. Let's take a few right now. Prateek went on to say earlier that he's got tickets for RCB SRH and whether he wants to go for that game. But now he's asking this one. Akshay, you take this. I have plenty for Knicks lined up anyway. Without excelling leg spinner in this season, has he overcome this issue already? Did it start pretty much from last season, Akshay, where he got the slog sweep out over mid-wicket to kind of banish his demons?
Yeah, there were certain shots that he brought up at the during the end of the last season, and that's what sort of changed his gameplay. Before I go, producer Saab, just give our graphic designer a ring and tell him what I need. He's texting that he doesn't know what needs to be done. Please do that. And yeah, coming back, to be honest, when we say Virat struggled against leg spin / slow left arm spin, the issue wasn't that he was getting out to them. The issue was strike rate. The issue was the lack of intent. And back then, that also was because he knew he could maximize it against pacers and all of it. Only when bowlers caught onto it that Virat realized he has to bring out new shots. So, firstly, I wouldn't call it an issue per se, because if I remember my numbers correctly, he averaged in excess of 100. Strike rate 110, aisa kuch tha, but average bahut zyada tha. He would never get out. So that was never the concern with him. But now the fact that he started, accessing the mid-wicket region, like Avnish said, and even the cuts that he's brought about, occasionally, that's what's really gone a long way in disrupting bowlers' lanes. The fact that he's just decided to turn over a new leaf. So yeah, I mean, it's not an issue. It's just that वो mindset चाहिए था. Something he's spoken about. Impact player है. मेरे पास 8 batters पड़े नीचे, तो सबको batting करनी है. तो might as well take that odd risk and move on.
Kohli, I think, has played his role beautifully in the last 3 away chases, and that shot of Chahal straight as a die, wrists, and a brilliant six. I mean, just captivated. And we had this one for Nick at the start of the show saying, Nick, do we have too many guys? Feels like Flev and Dhoni don't have the chance to figure out their 11 with the squad that they have. How do they rejig it? Because obviously they brought in Mhatre, they didn't get the right side of the result of the Wankhede. They'll go back to the drawing board. 2 home games, I think it is, for CSK now. Do you expect more changes? Do you expect Vansh Bedi, Andri Siddharth, maybe they to come in and have a say?
Yeah, firstly, and I completely relate to the frustration. And I'm at the same time very proud of myself when I said selections could be the zero for Chennai. And how true has that been? That it was the only team I was very sure of. Okay, if anything that can go wrong for them, it is going to be selections, and it has turned out to be that. And I think what has happened is they've had to move out of their comfort zone, and this is, I don't think it's happened in this manner for them at any point of time in the last few years, where almost nothing they've touched has come through even half of it. They've taken the punt with Rachin, they've backed him, they've given him every game, but you don't see even the shot that Rachin played yesterday. It was so disappointing that you are a test batter. I'm not saying कि भाई टेस्ट बैटर है तो तू एक जैसा खेलेगा, but I expect you to figure a way out. कि तेरा T20 game नहीं है, I understand, but you can still start better. So I think it's with all of these calls that they have not worked and they look very confused. A game back, you speak that we cannot pick Ashwin because then we had to bowl him more in the power play because that wasn't working out, and so you don't play Ashwin in that one game, and then you bring back Ashwin as an impact sub because you see Santner take turn. But sorry, take a deep breath. He bowled slow. Sorry, I'll repeat. He bowled slow. He was not darting at 100 and getting the ball to rip. You had to bowl off spin. You had to get spinners into the game. Noor Ahmed came on too late. So I think it's just been, when you enter that room with that pizza and that meme, everything is burning. That's what's happening with Chennai. That at this point of time, nothing seems to be working. Ke, kuch idea nahi hai, bro. How will the top order click? Where is your Vijay Shankar? Where is Shivam Dubey? How did Jadeja bat at 4 and bat like that? It's You don't see this kind of stuff happening from Chennai. So I think it's a case of giving them this season as an off. Okay, take your time now, figure 11 and back it, because I genuinely expected Anshul to play the game yesterday because he's played at Wankhede. How do you not play Anshul? I understand Ashwin because spin or but dude, Anshul in the power play at Mumbai plays he's played. It is a no-brainer. So, and again, you bowl Jamie Overton with a new ball. But you are making yourself a meme. It's Craig Overton who is a new ball bowler, not Jamie Overton. So do not become a meme. But I'll give them a pass because it's very weird for me to even think that Flem, Michael Hussey, and MS Dhoni, three of the most brainy people in cricket that I feel that they are, could get this so wrong, but they have got it wrong. So you've got it wrong, correct it next season.
Yeah, it shows that even they're humans, they can make mistakes as well, and it can cut them some slack. Even though I'm saying this as an RCB fan, CSK have done all the right things over the years, and they've been one of the most stable teams. So sometimes not winning rather, puts your team off, and that Anshul Kamboj howler. I mean, I was expecting Anshul Kamboj to knock Rohit Sharma early. That's why I had him in my Dream 11, and then I had to make last minute changes. Sports fan had this one earlier saying, what's your take on MI not being able to scout Mhatre, who's the local Mumbai player before CSK, even if they have the best scouting system? It also tells you that all the other teams have taken a few cues from Mumbai, who's perhaps the best nursery of Indian cricket in terms of being the scouts over there. Akshay, over to you on this, because we know the bloke from CSK, Aniruddha, he's gone to KKR, or he came from KKR, found hidden gems like Gurjapneet and so on and so forth, Allah Ghazanfar, so on and so forth. Do you think Mumbai are going to be hard done on themselves not finding a Mhatre or Vaibhav Suryavanshi?
Not really, yeah. It's not like MI will get every bloody youngster out there. Sure, MI have been good with their scouting system, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing to look into it, yeah, to be honest, because when MI are searching for youngsters, they're not looking at Mumbai cuts, they're looking at India. They're like, hi, apne ko domestic player chahiye. And by domestic, they are fine. Kashmir se leke Kanyakumari, yahan Mumbai se leke Kolkata tak jo bhi dikhta hai, everything is under their gambit. And Mhatre को लेके वो क्या करते? They have a packed top order, yeah. So they knew they did not have any necessity for him. So I mean, I don't see any reason why MI would feel hardened by anything like that. That happens. I mean, they will look. See, in the recent past, most of their scouting picks have been on the bowling front because their batting lineup is packed, यार. तुम किसको replace करने वाले हो वहाँ पे?
They already have surplus. They already have surplus top order batters. So why would they go on and pick somebody like him then?
Yeah, so it's fine.
And like Akshay mentioned earlier in the podcast, there was the bloke who played the Indian Street Premier League, and he got picked to be a net bowler for KKR there. So you never know, endless opportunities, endless avenues to get into the game. One more for Akshay, which before I go on to the next question that I have as well. Mohammad Aran had this when we were discussing the RCB RR game. He's like, do you think Swastik will get a game this season generally? Him, Bethel maybe Ngidi, Tushara that you wanted to see with Hazelwood being rested. So do you think Chikara in particular will get a nod now that Padikal's done well?
No. चिकारा तो डेफिनेटली नॉट एट दी वेरी सरप्राइज ये सीजन में उसको अगर मिला तो बाकी को फिर भी मिल सकता है बट आई मीन एज एन बेथल माइट स्टिल probably get a shot Engidi might get a look into rest Hazelwood or something don't see Chakara getting any game time this season whatsoever he was brought in as backup now Padikkal is worked so yeah there's no reason why they would bring him in.
Okay, one more CSK question coming from Andy's way, and he mentions Brevis over there at Chepauk. That maybe not the most suitable pitches for these two stroke makers, but again, do you think Chennai could have these youngsters thrive at home?
But you will have to. I mean, if you've picked, I was very, very happy with it. Is a very, both these picks are very non-CSK picks in that sense, but it is good. And you would assume that they have finally accepted that it is a free scoring deck, Chepauk. It may be slow to begin with, but it is still a deck that you can score because you're conceding more than 180 in most of your games. So I think it's a good sign that they have accepted that they need these kind of changes. So in the next game, I genuinely expect that being done. That you play Brevis, you drop Jamie Overton, you get Anshul Kamboj back. It is a straight swap. कुछ सोचने का जरूरत ही नहीं.
Yeah, okay, fair. Mohammad Aran had the other one about saliva, which you just remembered. Now, does saliva only have a part to play, or pitches become a dry because of the summer being a bit more abrasive? Akshay, you had a couple of things that you wanted to say on this point, right?
Yep. So about this, firstly, in terms of saliva would have definitely played a role in ensuring that one side of the ball can be maintained much better. Now, earlier they had to resort to under their armpits and stuff like that. Saliva is just so much more easier solution for that. It just sounds disgusting, when we have to describe it this way, but it is the sport we love. So abhi jo hai, so hai. And so that would have played a role in aiding, in basically increasing the friction between the two sides, and that's what aids reverse swing. Firstly, secondly, about the pitches being drier, Arhan, I don't think the pitches are more drier this season than last season because summer utna zyada kuch bada nahi hai. One major change that's happened this season is practically no dew, and that's played a massive role. If anything, I will say dew or rather no dew has played a bigger role than saliva itself because no dew has ensured that the condition of the ball is maintained. You can actually. So basically, how reverse swing works is for the uninitiated, saliva se one side ko tum smooth kar sakte ho, but for that the other side has to be roughened up. For the other side to be roughened up, agar dew hai, so you can't do that, right? Basically, both sides are getting evenly moist soil skid on. Now, because there's no dew, there is a lot of abrasions because grass se jab guzarta hai, ye thokar, wo thokar, and all of that. That helps to roughen up the ball. And I think that's played a bigger role. And the combination of the two at the end of the day has seen us get those, balls tailing in the 15th over, 16th over. So, yeah, that's basically my 2 cents on it.
Okay, fair enough. Tanbir 53 was a Bangladesh fan saying, which team does Nikhil support in the IPL? And then Kornaz DV saying, Chittagong Super Kings. It's the Chennai Super Kings. Close but no cigar. Why is Manish Pandey not honored by the BCCI? Asking Santosh Urupa. How do you want to answer that one, Akshay?
Bhai, matlab, see, I agree. Deserve karte Manish Pandey, but why have we? It's a rhetorical, right? At the end of the day, Santosh. Rohit Dhoni, Kohli have been awarded, and no one else. Even Ravindra Jadeja didn't get it. For what it's worth, wo bhi khela 18 season. So you can see why that's happening. And bhai, this is all eyewash. Like, I'm guessing the intention is to distract. So all I'm expecting folks like you who are so smart when it comes to cricket is check it now, wo kar rahe unko karne do because baki there are a million people out there who want to see this happen. So this is for them. This is not for us. तो ठीक है जिनको करना उनको करने दो जिनको देखना उनको देखने दो हम अपने धुन में चलते हैं. Speaking of which, of course, Howzzaatt is also on. We can have that out, the graphic out.
We will. 1 second. Just 1 second. I will go back to that graphic before the end of the show for sure. And it just makes you think about what Santosh asked us right now about Sachin getting a farewell game. How many other cricketers will we see going forward will get a farewell game? Dravid didn't, Anil Kumble didn't, so many greats didn't. One more question that we'll take from the 12th man, and then we'll go back to the quiz and end the proceedings. It comes from Sanjay saying thoughts on Abhishek Nair getting sacked by the BCCI, and then quickly move to KKR, and then Rohit posting a story appreciating him for his role in his knock. Is something brewing in the national team, or is it regular BCCI bullshit? I think the latter. KL also credited Abhishek Nair recently, saying that he's worked well with him. What do you guys make of it? Nix, we also kind of discussed it internally on the WhatsApp group. Someone put it out there. Right?
very Vikas, I think, put it out, and I found it very puzzling that there had also been reports about senior people not being happy. So who is not being happy? Everybody is praising him. So then where is the problem? But again, transparency I don't think is the best bet there. And sorry, I think I was disturbed by Sanjay's comment as well about how could CSK course correct. So maybe we can get that also later. But for
Yeah.
this, we have no clue, sir. We are only speculating at this point of time.
Okay, I said Sanjay's will be the last. In fact, we'll make it two more questions. Corners DBC saying they started off the season with a great man of the match picks. Why did they deviate yesterday? Yesterday, the first fucking time ever, Virat and Rohit winning a man of the match, which is insane. It should have been DDP and Sky, according to me, but you guys can
Uh,
disagree in the comments.
there is another game. They even gave that one game to MS as the player of the match. It should have been Noor only.
No, MS up at LSG, right? I think MS deserved that, to be fair.
4 overs for 13 runs, bro. You were chasing only that much because somebody bowled too well. So it is. I can
Hmm.
understand why you would give it to MS also, but share kar dete bhai. But I think both were very nip and tuck, as you put it.
Okay. Productivity game has one random one last minute. Off topic, guys. If you look at the table right now, top five teams with 5 wins, LSG 5 looking formidable. So here's my prediction. Either GT or RCB would lose spot in playoffs. The rest would be the same. That's a great call that you've made over there. And going back to Sanjay's question for Knicks, in terms of the auction bit, how much can they course correct in a season?
Yes, see, firstly, I'll be very honest. There'll have to be some harsh calls taken. You'll have to think a bit long about how do you want to go about with Ash? How do you want to go about Jadeja? मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि they are going to retire. They will play, but you either decide their usage or figure out a way to put people around them. Because I genuinely see the call might have to be taken with Conway as well. As much as I love that guy to bits, I think it might be the time to let go of him because he's come at a higher cost and he's not starting. Then I don't think that's the thing that they can do better with. So you already are getting enough 10, 12 crores by releasing a couple of players there. Figure out what you want to do with Sam Curran and Jamie Overton. Take a call there. So I think there is enough option for you that. And the thing is, it has gotten easier because you got Revis. It has gotten easier because you got Ayush Mhatre. Because now what it means is these guys will start and you expect them to start AGB. So I think they are slowly solving that problem, but their bigger problem is the key roles for the big players. What do you do with Ash, with Huda, with Tripathi, with Conway? These guys you've paid enough for them. So you decide what you want to do with them and then take a call and you will find a way. But that is how I think they'll have to take.
Okay, interesting. Finally, let's start proceedings with Akshay's right graphic from Howzzaatt. I'll put it on and then he can have a crack at it second time and then you guys can let it go in the comments after the show ends. Akshay, here's a revised graphic, I think. Are you happy with that now?
Yeah, much better, and this would make more sense to the audience. There you go. Once again, to repeat the question, amongst the original 8 teams to take part in the tournament, only 3 teams have won the toss in less than 50% of the games they've played. All I want is for you guys to name them. So basically, of the original 8 teams, so no Gujarat Titans, no Lucknow Super Giants, RPSG, KTK, and all of that. Only 3 teams have less than 50% each. If you can see 49.21, 47.84, and 45.12. All I want you guys to let me know is who these 3 teams are. And like always, of course, one lucky winner stands to join us and we can chat, we can ask you questions, you can ask us questions, you can banter Ravneesh online if that helps. But yeah, there you go. That's the question. And let's see who gets it right this time.
Yeah, knowing Akshay, one of those 3 teams will definitely be RCB. So it's about 2 teams being guessed for sure. Or he might just be throwing you off in terms of clues over there. Guys, thank you so much, both Akshay and Nix, for making their presence felt yet again on an amazing podcast of Monday Night Live. KKR going great guns, 41 for 1, 4.2, chasing that 198. Only time will tell if the Purple Army get through. I'll tell you what, if you guys answer Akshay's quiz and get the winner of this game right in the comments, you guys will be with us on MNL. So quickly, right after the show ends, like the video and tell me who's going to win, KKR or GT. Whoever wins that and the Akshay's quiz wins a chance to come on MNL. We've made your life easier. Have a great week ahead, lads. It's the start of a brand new week. Keep happy, keep smiling, and join us for all the amazing content. Until the next time, so goodbye from me, Akshay, and Nix. Dinner's waiting belovedly in all our households. I need the end screen right now. I found it, and I'm out of here. Cheers.